If you're eating more, training hard, and still getting softer, your body is not broken, it's being mismanaged. And the reason isn't calories, it's how your body is using them. Okay, so in today's video, we're gonna be talking a lot about insulin sensitivity and how food and mismanagement of training is going to influence how you gain weight, more specifically down the route of how you gain muscle mass. So we all have to remember that food has to go somewhere. So it can either go to Moosels or it can go to Fat Adrian. We really want it to go to Shredded Adrian. So this is the guy that we want to be making sure that we're getting nice and big. As we move down, same food, the same two different outcomes. The difference is how your body is primed to use it. So calories don't magically just become muscle. They get partitioned, stored, or used. So what this means is if you've got raw materials coming in and you're not training hard enough, they are going to be used to be stored as fat. The system that decides that is called insulin sensitivity. You've either got a muscle cell, which wants to have all the resources going into that, or you can have it completely locked down as a fat cell. So insulin's job is to shuttle nutrients into cells. When insulin sensitivity is really high, carbs refill muscle glycogen. So that's what gives you a pump, that's what builds muscles, that's what gives you the energy output to train fucking hard. Protein is pulled into the muscle, and less of that is spilled over into fat. So when it's low, muscle becomes resistant and you just put on heaps of weight. This is where, if you've come from a lean position and then you go into a bulk immediately, you go, wow, I look really good for the first 2-3 weeks. And then all of a sudden you're like, why am I just looking fat? That's probably why you've lost your insulin sensitivity and it's all going stored to fat. So you want to be making sure that you're building your armor up. So the armor is your muscle. We don't want to be building fat. We don't want to be pinching our nipples and our, skin flaps and things like that. We want to be building armor. So we want to be making sure that our training is really high. The best feedback that we have to know that we are in an insulin sensitive state is hunger. The brain is telling us to eat, which means that the muscle cells wants to recover. If we give it the right amount of food and not too much, it goes straight into that muscle cell and builds fucking juicy muscles. So hunger isn't just a lack of discipline. It's a signal driven by training output, energy availability, and recovery status. So hard training should increase your hunger. The problem is when hunger is high, but your progress is really low, which means you're not training hard enough. So a growing body asks for fuel. A stalled body just lags behind and, is painfully just putting on scale weight rather than actually visible muscle mass. If you're starving and not growing, this means that you've got that energy balance wrong and you're not fueling yourself enough. So why training intensity fixes this is that training builds muscle, which allows you to have more power and more output, more at metabolic rate, which allows you to burn fat more efficiently and build muscle. So proper resistance training improves insulin sensitivity in muscle, increases nutrient uptake, expands muscle storage capacity, so allows you to have bigger muscles. Soft sets plus perfect macros is going to equal average results. So even if you've got your diet right and you're training like a pussy, you're not going to gain as much muscle as if you're doing hard training and a really good diet. So we want hard sets close to failure plus enough volume. It tells the body to send those raw materials to those muscles. So you don't diet your way into insulin sensitivity, you train your way into it, then support it with food. So just say you got down into a really lean position, like I have just come out of a photo shoot. I need to now match my calories to my training output. I do not increase calories until my training output increases. So my diet's fine is usually fucking wrong. You're usually just eating enough to survive, but not enough to eat to grow muscle. So your protein must be high, but your calories are inconsistent, carbs are too low for output, and intake doesn't match the training days. So you've just sort of got things absolutely everywhere, but you've got protein set, which is great, but we still need to be making sure that we've got a good amount of carbohydrates coming in to actually fuel these sessions and stay in this insulin sensitivity state. So this can lead to chronic underfueling plus hard training equals terrible insulin sensitivity. So if we're starving, but we're training really hard, we're not really going to be using those resources. It's just going to be pure survival. So more hunger, you're going to have flat sessions, no pump, and no visible change. This is the two sort of sides of the bridge. We want to be right in the middle in that Goldilocks zone of a little bit hungry, not starving, and with really high training output. So if you're still eating like you're cutting and wondering why nothing's building, you probably haven't raised your calories up high enough out of this cut to actually take advantage of those resources going straight into those muscles. So you need to align your training plus food. That will equal growth. We need to be making sure that we're growing, or else what's the point of going to the gym? Most guys don't need a new diet. They need their training and their food and their recovery to start talking to each other. This is a big mismanagement and a misalignment. Is like all those three pillars need to talk to each other to be building fucking muscle. If you want me to show you where your system is potentially fucking lacking, please send me a DM on Instagram with the word align, and I'll show you what your next 20 weeks will look like when we get and manage your insulin sensitivity with hard training, proper nutrition, and excellent recovery.